Hey, Miss Cody, I just went through what I think some of your questions are. It may be broader than what I have done, but I prepared some keywords. This is the way I do my research. I actually go in and start creating a whole bunch of keywords and ideas around something. Because sometimes you can, one of the greatest difficulties with library research is finding out the term. Like you may be looking for outcomes, but outcomes isn't a great keyword, but maybe things like change analysis, whether or not somebody went back and did something. In other words, might have something to do with it. So when we're looking at support of persons involved in school shootings or survivors, we're looking for victims, survivors, we're looking for bereavement, we're looking for issues of support, fear, trauma, all sorts of different words. So what I do when I'm doing my research is collect those. I'm at the Campus Common, I go to the library resources, and it brings me to this page. I'm sorry, let me bring you over. I'm working on two screens. I already recorded this and had to go back. So let me do this. I'm at my campus. I went to library resources. I'm at this page. I absolutely do not use this library search. It may be good for some simple things, but in a case where you need to know what kind of resources you're dealing with, I like to go to the database list. On this database list, we have quite a few things. Most of these items will be articles from journals, though we do have ebooks and also videos, but I'm going to go for peer-reviewed research articles in academic journals. I assume that's what you need for this particular item. I'm selecting here Academic Search Complete because it covers everything from astrology to zoology, but you can come up here and select the different sections, psychology, counseling, and we have some other things you might want to use too. But I'm going to go to Academic Search Complete. It covers a great deal of things. I'm going to go with school shooting, and you'll see how it sort of starts filling things in. I'm going to throw up an asterisk right there. That asterisk will allow me to get shootings, shoots, all sorts of different things that may be variations. I'm going to go in. I like going to a search really broad and then start narrowing it down. Now, I'm going to search here for full text. You can absolutely request things from us using the ILLiad request form. I can show that to you if you want to know about it. But if this is something you're turning around really quickly, like so many of our summer courses are, this is another way to do it, and just select full text. So what you see is what you get. Now, this has an analysis of school shooting data. What I'm doing, and I'm going to move back and forth, when I showed you that list I started with, I was going through these subjects here, and I would pick the ones that had to do most what I thought your topic might be. Again, it's a lot of working with keywords and ideas and different ways of looking something. This has to do with law and legislation. That may or may not have something to do with it. Psychology definitely does have something to do with it. School massacre, yes, this is another word for describing it. Offender and offense characteristics of school shooting incidents. Yes, all of this may be very useful to you. And I would pick things like school violence, criminal justice system, or other things and put it in my keyword search list. And I do keep this list because I use more than one database, and it might be very useful. Now, school reporting and making schools safer, offender and offense characteristics of school shooting incidents. This might be very useful. I'm going to highlight this and copy this title. I'm going to show you something else I'm going to do. Now, when I see this, this is also going to give me some subject terms I might use. You can also copy and paste them up into this search and keep changing it out. You might want to go to school massacre and other types of topics. You can go to PTSD, that would be a form of an outcome. You can use the word trauma, and I would type in something like trauma, and I would put an asterisk. That way you get traumas, traumatized, and other things, and it's going to change up our search, and I'm going to go in there to show you what that looks like. And now we have at least 77 things to look at rather. And talks about their experiences of support. That might be something you want to look at. The role of attachment, I'm not sure you're quite at that level, but it may describe some behaviors after a shooting. The psychological reactions about witnessing a killing, and all these things might be in this area. And again, when you see something that works, pick out some of the subjects and go back up here and keep doing your research. Now then, the other thing I would suggest that you do is to look at these items on counseling. We have psych articles, and let me go down. We're going to have psych articles and Sage Psychology Collection and a couple others that you can use. Also, you can use ebooks. Those are books and not scholarly articles, but they still may be useful when you're writing a larger paper. You can also go things alphabetically if you're looking for psych articles or psychology, and it'll take you to that area. So these, let me clear filter so that shows better. Psychology, psych articles, and you'll see psych info and psych articles, all of which will be useful for this topic. So you can go to those individually by name. You could find them by subject, but there's also another way to do this. I'm going to move this up to show you another way of doing research with our databases. Now, what this requires that you do is have already be signed in to the Commons. Make sure you're signed into the library in the background. And I'm going to Google Scholar. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to settings. This could be here or up here, but I'm going to go to settings here, library links, and you're going to type in Argosy, and you'll get these and you'll save. Now what this does is make sure this search finds articles on that is available to you in full text. If you remember, I used this title from another thing. You can also bring in the title of an article that worked for you and find other things that cited it. And that's what I'm going to do here. This lets me know, like once you have this set, it lets you know you can find it at Argosy, and usually you can click on this and go to another page. Sometimes you have to open a tab, but that will work. But the other things it does is let you know it's cited by 17 items. Now you can take those articles and go through to see if these would also be useful, and they let you know which ones you can find at Argosy. Then if you see another article that may be useful, you can keep going through and doing the same thing. And if you're working on this long term, you can create an alert so that it'll keep sending these to you in your email. But this is also a great way to do your research. I hope my list of keywords and ideas may be helpful, and my 2 different approaches for finding articles may be good. If you would like me to be more specific on something, I would be glad to do so. I'm trying to wrap this up in under 10 minutes, and again, if you need anything else, let me know and I'll go over that topic. Thanks.